Sell me this pen. Might remember that line. Leonardo DiCaprio is playing in The Wolf of Wall Street. Leonardo DiCaprio is actually acting as a guy called Jordan Belfort, who is a hugely successful salesperson. And Jordan Belfort used to do conferences, and that particular scene, Jordan Belfort goes up to some of the audience in the conference, gives one of them the pen, looks them in the eye and says, "Sell me this pen." The young man in the audience is afraid and sort of starts to describe the pen. Look, it's a nice pen, it's blue, it writes really well. And after about 10 seconds, Jordan takes the pen off the young man and gives it to the next person. "Sell me this pen." Similar results. And it goes through. This particular movie, The Wolf of Wall Street, made Jordan Belfort almost a household name, definitely in the sales, any sort of sales industry. And he actually was interviewed one day in Oxford Union, which is a prestigious debating society at Oxford University in England. And Jordan's right up the top, sort of sitting in an armchair, being interviewed by a lot of people. And as you'd sort of expect, one of the students sort of pulls a pen out of his pocket and says, "Jordan, sell me this pen." And at that point, Jordan explained that the pen is a euphemism. What he meant to say is an analogy. It's not about selling a pen per se, it's about selling anything. And let's face it, we're all in the sales game, whether we're selling real estate, whether we're selling our services, we're selling software, even in an interview, we're selling ourselves, or even in the dating scene, we're selling ourselves. And one of the things is it's not the golden rule, it's the platinum rule. The golden rule is, speak to people as you would have them speak to you. But the platinum rule is speak to people as they want you to speak to them. What is important to you? What is important to a client? And Jordan was explaining that before you start to sell the attributes of anything, you need to find out sort of what floats your client's boat. What is it that they want? And that's crucial. Another way of looking at it is 2 ears, 1 mouth. We should be listening before we say anything. We should be listening at least twice as much as we're saying stuff. One of the things that we've been doing at work recently, we've had some American salespeople basically zooming into our meeting every week and talking about exactly that. What's in it for you? Sitting down with a client and finding out what's in it for them. But they've taken it another step further. They've used DISC, D-I-S-C. It's ascertaining the sort of person that you're talking to. And they talk about if you draw a circle on a whiteboard, and that represents, let's say, most personalities, most people's type, if you like, and you draw a line halfway across the center of the circle. Those above, it's about pace. They want something quick. They don't want to be waiting around. You've got to get to the objective fairly quickly. And those below the line, they want to take their time. They need to think about things. And then if you draw a line vertically through the center, through the circle, on the left-hand side, you've got people that are very IQ. They just want facts and logic, no emotion, cut to the point. And those on the right-hand side, they're more emotionally based, and they need a story. They need to know how they feel or others feel about it. And that's where the DISC, D-I-S-C, comes in. So DISC, D starts for dominant. People with that dominant personality, the top left-hand corner, very logical, very quick-paced. I want to know the answers. I want to know how this is going to make me win. And if you can identify that someone's a D, you need to be able to sell them like a D. Sell them the features and show them how it's going to make them win. Dominance also needs to be in control, so you've got to give them choices. Selling the pen to an I on the right-hand side. Eyes are influential. Now, we see a lot of them in the social media space. A lot of eyes, a lot of people that are really interested in getting stuff on Instagram, getting stuff on social media. What other people perceive about them is very, very important. They don't want the fluff and the detail. So on the top half of the circle, but it's important that they look good. A typical way to sell to an eye is if they're buying a car, you need to pop them in the car, drive by a building with mirrored glass, and if they see themselves in the car looking good, they've bought the car. So that's D and I on the top of the circle. On the bottom right-hand side, we've got S, steady. These people are steady. They take their time to come to a decision, but they're on the emotional side. You need to tell them a story. You need to gain their trust. When you speak to these people and you tell them a story and you gain their trust and loyalty, that's when you can sell them something. And the final person, C, they're on the left-hand side down the bottom. Details, they're conscientious. Details really matter to them, and it needs to be logical, it needs to be detailed, and they need to take their time. You've got to tick, when you're selling to one of these people, conscientious person, you've got to tick every single box before you can sell them the attributes. So DISC, how do we sell a pen? Well, what we've got to do is find out what's important to those people. We've got 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen, listen, listen. Find out, try and work out which one of those quadrants that the person you're speaking to is, and then tailor your description or the attributes of what you're trying to sell to one of those 4 quadrants. Good luck selling your next pen.